The Honourable Louise Upston.
Mr Speaker, I'm enormously proud to be part of a government that is both encouraging and enabling the building of more houses, more businesses and greater infrastructure. And I want to take a moment, Mr Speaker, just to acknowledge the extraordinary work of the Honourable Dr Nick Smith in bringing the next phase of the Resource Management Act reforms to the House. And it's about supporting business owners, it's about supporting homeowners, it's supporting our councils to actually ensure that we're able to get the level of development in cities and towns from one end of New Zealand to the other. This government is very much clearly focused on reducing silly rules, reducing bureaucracy, actually making it easier for councils to put together consistent plans that support their work in their communities. And, Mr Speaker, we've heard endless examples as we've spoken with constituents and councils alike about the obstacles that have been in their way, and reforming the Resource Management Act will make it a significant difference to enable them to really get things moving. It's about greater consistency, it's about more responsive planning, simplified consenting, and more importantly, or equally importantly, better alignment across other pieces of legislation. Mr Speaker, this government has focused on delivering better public services. It's also around enabling better local services in local government. And as we know, the performance of local government is absolutely critical in regional economic development and the quality of everyday life. One of the things, Mr Speaker, that I spoke about last night at the launch of the civil trades is that in the next 10 years, we are expecting that central government and local government will spend approximately $11 billion each year in infrastructure. We have a responsibility, Mr Speaker, to enable that to occur quickly and efficiently. So this government's really being very deliberate about finding more ways to support local government in responding to the significant challenge of infrastructure, but also those of building more resilient communities and growing their local economies. So some of the work that we're doing is looking at what are the other opportunities to improve local government. There's some fantastic examples of up and down the country of how regions are working together across councils. We've got great examples in Northland, Waikato and Canterbury, but it's actually about how do we go further to enable shared services, to have a look at the functions and structures, to enable greater collaboration so that the constituencies, which our taxpayers and ratepayers are the same people, Mr Speaker, to actually enable we get some of those savings and better local services delivered in our communities. So we've had the Rules Reduction Task Force, goodness me, some of the absolutely loopy rules that both homeowners and business owners talk to us about were absolutely horrendous. So this is another piece of work lining up with the RMA reforms with the rules reduction that actually makes a significant difference for local government and local government's customers. It's significantly about reducing costs, it's about reducing delays, because we know, Mr Speaker, on this side of the House, when businesses are trying to grow, we've actually got to get some of these things out of the way for them. We had great results from the first round of RMA reforms. I think this piece of legislation might be even thicker than the first one. But at the end of the day, it is about making New Zealand go faster. It's about growing our economies in small towns as well as our large cities. It's about building more houses and building them faster. So, Mr Speaker, I'm enormously proud of what we're doing in local government, and hats off to my colleague for the RMA reforms.